Hello and welcome back. In this lesson, we'll look at how to install Flask, and I'm assuming you already have installed Python. If not, I can share how to install that as well. So to install Python, here is the uh, website python.org downloads, and here you can download the Python file. Alternatively, I think you could also get Python from Anaconda distribution. So Anaconda distribution, and here if you say there is download Anaconda. So if you go down here and download Anaconda, not the Miniconda but the Anaconda, this will also install the Python. After the Python is installed, to install Flask, here is what we can type in the terminal: pip install Flask. I've already installed that, so if I try and run pip install Flask with a capital F, it is going to say that the requirement is already satisfied, as you see. Once that is installed successfully, what we are going to do is open VS Code, and once we open VS Code, we are going to create a folder. I already have this folder L3 name created on the desktop. I'm going to open that folder. So go to desktop, open that folder, and in this folder, let's create our very first file, which is by clicking new file, and we'll call that file name main underscore app dot py, and create a file. So this is where we are going to start writing the code in Python using Flask. To import Flask, we need to type import from. So from Flask with a lowercase f, import Flask with uppercase f. Okay, so this is our step one, and let's write that down. Step one. So we simply import modules, required modules. We import them here. The second thing we do is we are going to instantiate the class. So second thing we do is instantiate the class. If you already have knowledge of base Python, you know exactly what I mean. We are going to create an instance variable app, and that is equal to Flask, and this is that's the class we are instantiating, and which takes in an input argument name underscore underscore name underscore underscore, and this is what we are going to talk about. What is the value that this variable name underscore underscore name carries if we run the main underscore app py file directly, versus when we import the main underscore app.py file and run it indirectly. So why underscore underscore? I think one of the reasons is this is a variable name that when we are writing code, we shouldn't by mistake create a variable in our code which is exactly the same. So rarely would we type underscore underscore name underscore underscore to create a variable name, and so this sort of helps to avoid that uh, that situation where the variable name created by user matches with the built-in variables that Python identifies for specific purpose. In this case, this is the one called underscore underscore name underscore underscore. Once we instantiate the variable, third thing we are going to do is we are going to set the route, and to that for that we are going to create a decorator. By that I mean we put this at the rate sign and type app dot route, and within parentheses we are simply going to put a forward slash, and what forward slash is going to tell Python is if a user visits a page in a browser at the root URL, then the function below this decorator is to be run. So the function that we are going to create is, let's say, home, and this is going to return a string where the value of underscore underscore name is, and we'll specify the variable name again here. So this is the this will tell us what is the value this variable has when we run the main app file directly versus indirectly. And then the fourth thing we need to do is create provision in this file so that this file could also be run directly. And for that we are going to type this line: if underscore underscore name underscore underscore, sorry, this is right, underscore underscore name is equal to, and this is going to be underscore underscore main underscore underscore, and here we'll say app dot run debug is equal to true with a capital T. So this is what we have, and what we so run this in terminal. So in the terminal you'll be typing uh, python, so python space main underscore app.py to run this file directly. Okay, and to do that, let's go ahead and open the terminal, which we already have here. I'm going to navigate to the folder here, and you see that this is the main underscore app.py file. Now to run this file, we simply say python space main underscore app.py, run this, and we get an error. And so this is good to know error, where it says that cannot import lowercase f flask from uppercase f lowercase f flask. So this f has to be uppercase, and when we do that and run this line of code again, this is running, and we can see that the serving Flask app, the server has started. We have this running at this particular URL. So if I now go to the browser and paste that URL and put this forward slash in front of it, which is this forward slash we used in the route, even if we do not put that, it will still run. We see this line printed out. The value of name variable underscore underscore name underscore underscore variable is main underscore underscore main. So you see, when we run this file directly by typing this python main app.py, we are setting the name, the value for the variable underscore underscore name underscore underscore to underscore underscore main underscore underscore. Okay, so that is something to note. Now what we are going to do is create another file name which is called test.py, and in this file we are going to import from main underscore app, we are going to import app, the one that we have created right here, right? We are going to import that from this main underscore app file, and then we are going to say if underscore underscore name and underscore underscore is equal to underscore underscore main underscore underscore colon, and then say app dot run debug is equal to true, save, and to exit out of this. So if you want to close this running instance of Flask, we can press Ctrl C on the keyboard, and that will break that. Now what we want to do is run the test.py file, and you notice that this time we are going to run the main app.py file indirectly by because we are importing it in the test.py. So when we import it, this is the app, and when we run the app, it is going to run all the functions that are attached to this app, and in this case we are just one function, which is home, and that function should run. So if we go back here and say python test.py, run this, we get an error. So let's see what the error is. if name underscore underscore is equal to, so by mistake I've put just single equal to, so this has to be double equal to. And when we run this again, we see that the server is running, and again we have a URL. So if I take that URL, which is the same as before, and run this, now you see the difference. The value of name is main underscore app. It is no longer underscore underscore main as it was before. So what that tells us is when we run the file directly, the name has the value main, whereas when we run the file indirectly by importing it in other py file, the value that name takes on is the file name before the .py. So in this case, the file name is main underscore app, and that is what the value is taken by this name. Now, if you are wondering why do we just have forward slash, let's create uh, another function there right here, and let's call this cake mix. Okay, and what we will do here, we simply say the cake is baking. That is, and that's all we are saying here. Now I save this, and then we run. Let's run the Python main app main underscore app dot py file directly this time. As soon as we run this, we see that there is an error. So let's see why that error is. Let's go back up. App.route. We have the cake mix. But the reason is we have the same function name. We need to change that. So I'm going to say bake, bake a cake. That's the function we have. Okay. Now let's go back up here and run the file. And you see that the server is running, and we again go back to the same server. So nothing new. We would expect the name variable has the value main because we ran the file directly. However, we said that this function should also run, which is the second one, and it is there. What we have to do is we have to go to this URL, which is cake mix. So that, and we need to go forward slash cake underscore mix and then run this, and you see that this is cake is baking. So we are able to uh, uh, sort of run both the functions that are there, and the same would work if we were to use test.py. So let's close that and say python test.py, run this. And again, if we go here run this, we see that the name variable now has the value main underscore app. And if we go to cake mix, we see that that particular function is also running. So it doesn't matter if we run the file directly or if we run the file indirectly by importing it in another file. Whatever instance we are importing here, it everything attached to that will run. So here we have two functions attached to it, and both of them run when we run the app from test.py. So that was it for this lesson. I hope in this case you got a very clear idea of what this name variable means and what values it can take when we run a .py file either directly or when we run that file indirectly. Thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you have any questions, please feel free to post them in the comment section below.